podcast is part of the Sports Social Podcast Network.
All right, I'm with Tom. How's it going, Thomas?
Yes, lovely, thank you. How about you?
Pretty good. United coasted through to the quarterfinals. I'm forgetting which round we are. There's so many games in this. Europa League is like what the World Cup is going to become. Did you see not to get too distracted, but did you see the announcement of what the structure is going to look like?
Yeah, to some extent, actually, like there's part of me that's actually a little bit excited about it because Oceania get 1 and 3 and a third team.
Yes.
So we could see Tahiti at the next World Cup if they somehow get through an intercontinental playoff match against
the sixth,
I don't know,
seventh
UEFA
place.
or CONMEBOL
I
or
can't
whatever.
remember. Is it seventh place South American? Or I can't remember. There's playoff teams in every continent.
7 now, yeah.
Yeah. I know. I almost wish they'd got a second. So because it'll be New Zealand who qualify top of that group because they're playing Tahiti and Fiji and Vanuatu and the Cook Islands and the Solomon Islands and Guam and
the Solomon Islands.
Yeah.
In the Women's World Cup, they get 2.
Right.
So you usually get a someone like Tahiti or whatever in it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's the World Cup, isn't it? I think one of the things with the 48-team World Cup, the concern is around dilution of quality, and that's probably true. There's probably going to be a big result somewhere where we all go, hey, look what they've done to the World Cup. The quality's been diluted, but the final 16 and 8 and so on knockout rounds will be high quality as always. So yeah, I don't really have a problem with the expansion of the tournament. It means more games for the winning team. There'll be 8 games, not 7. And I guess we've probably seen the last ever in one country World Cup. Because 104 games, it's almost impossible for any one country to support it. Although England could, because there's a lot of grounds.
Yeah.
And I suppose the
Britain, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And, well, we'll see for the future.
Yeah, I mean, like, I saw someone complaining about someone who was saying, they need to remember about the people who need to work it. And, yeah, I guess so. But you get to have a World Cup for free. If you work it.
You
don't have to go to every single game.
That's right.
Yeah.
There's going to be 6 games a day.
You've got a massive privilege of being able to be there.
Yes. Yeah. Well, 6 games a day for that group stage. I was chatting online on Twitter with our one resident Scouser who listens to the pod, Chris. I guess we can call him a friend of the show. Frenemy? Something like that.
Is he classed as a masochist as well?
Yeah, I know. He plays it on repeat back to back when Liverpool win, doesn't he? Anyway, we were talking about how we're all going to get divorced because 6 games a day. I mean, it's for on British time. 2 of those games will be through the middle of the night. Basically, there'll be one that wraps up at 6 and one that wraps up at 4 or something like that. I mean, I guess they may tweak it in the years to come. Anyway. The point I was making before we went off into a massive diversion is Europa League is a bit like that. It's just goes on forever and ever and ever, and especially if you have that extra playoff round that we get. So, by the way, Tom, talking to Liverpool, did you see Liverpool versus Real Madrid where the penalty at the end of that game wasn't given because it bounced off his knee and then up onto his hand? Correctly. Not given.
We always talk about VAR, and we just love consistency, and it's just great to see it again at the highest level.
Yeah,
consistency.
Well, Manchester City got a penalty because maybe the ball brushed one of his hairs on his arm as he was looking the other way. By the way, wow, just lovely. Anyway, United won versus Betis, and I guess in the end it felt pretty easy. But it was feisty for an hour or so, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. It was almost like I don't know. These Spanish working class teams like Atletico Madrid and obviously Betis from the lesser loved part of Sevilla, there's this feistiness about them, and when there's almost like a chip on their shoulder a little bit. It was quite good fun for about 55 minutes. Like there was part of me being like, oh my God, you don't want an injury here, especially when Rashford is squaring up to that bloke, and then that bloke had 5 minutes where he was a feisty and he kind of lost his head for a little bit. And I'm like, oh, the last thing we don't need here is obviously an injury. And that also goes to the point of Ten Hagism, where he just never drops people and never gives people a rest. Core concept of the philosophy is literally that, to not rest people.
Well, I know the last 20 minutes of the game, I was looking at Casemiro going, do not get booked. Do not get booked.
I know, yeah, exactly. But at least it was like fun for 55, 60 minutes. It obviously petered out towards the end as the feistiness had just dissipated from Betis. I guess like the first hour was really high tempo as well. You can understand like the fact that the morale and the fact that they were never going to win had obviously kind of got to their heads, but also the fact that it was really high tempo, really quickly, like back and forth. It was good fun.
I did think for the first few minutes, why are United allowing this to be so open? I mean, I guess the trade-off with giving away chances to the opposition is Betis were really pushing hard, so the chance of a goal in the transition was high for United, but it was very, very open and end to end, and the intensity, as you say, was pretty high for a tie. The chances of Betis going through were very small, weren't they?
Yeah, it's weird. It was almost like we spoke at the weekend about bad game management from some type of players, and it felt like that throughout the whole game. Really, it was like, why are we playing like this? Like, it's fun to watch. It's great to see like an end-to-end game, but and even towards like the last 10 minutes, we're taking quick throw-ins where like De Gea's picking the ball up and throwing it out quickly. I think Casemiro just said to Delo, like with about 5 minutes to go, like just chill out, mate. I've played the whole game here. I need to chill out a bit. Whereas you guys, I think everyone was wanting to make their like a mark on the game. Like Elanga was trying a lot when he came on, like spectacular shots, and I think Sancho as well. Like I think everyone was trying to impress when they came on, and I think someone like Casemiro, who's obviously an older head and plays every game, it's like, come on, lads, like let's chill out a bit here, because I guess everyone by the end of the game, there's probably not really a first teamer on the pitch at that point, apart from Casemiro.
Yeah, quite a lot. Yeah, apart from Casemiro, the guy.
Weghorst and Weghorst.
Oh, but yeah,
obviously.
Well, of course, he has to be classed as a first teamer because he starts every single game, every single one. Yeah, my mini preview for Instagram before the game, mistakenly put it up late. I'd written it earlier, which was about Anthony Martial potentially featuring. Clearly got that wrong because he wasn't even in the squad. He just came back training this week, so I guess that was a stretch. But we may have options shortly until Martial like pulls up like a lame horse and 20 minutes into his first game back, something like that. I guess you can all get excited about it for a moment. But yes, Weghorst is a first teamer. That's on loan Burnley player Wout Weghorst, our saviour. He missed a couple of very good chances today, Weghorst did. One at the far post where he really should have put it away, and another shot pretty near centrally as well with his left foot, which he kind of snatched at.
You could just save that part of what you just said and just play it every single week if you want to be honest, because he always misses chances. It always gets them. It's funny though, because like you would hear the classic cliche is he's getting in the right places. So that's what you always say of a striker. He's getting the chances, and soon the goals will eventually come. A bit like Nunes at the start of the season, everyone was saying that. He's getting loads of chances, though, and he's getting loads of chances. And that is a bit like Weghorst. But Weghorst never looks like he's actually going to take it. Like, he is an incredible finisher.
Yes, incredible is an interesting word, yes. Yeah, for him. Yes. Yeah, well, his record, we talked about it when you first joined, is about 1-2 in the Bundesliga. That is some heavy Bundesliga tax going on there, I tell you, with this guy.
And Turkish tax as well, because this season with Besiktas, he scored a lot of goals. Yeah.
I was thinking about that when Jadon Sancho missed a chance right at the end. Turned out it was offside. He ran through from the halfway line, shot straight at the keeper. When there was a square ball on, by the way, so he was amazingly greedy. Even if he knew he was offside, he definitely should have squared it. Definitely. Anyway, he didn't score, and you go, oh my God. We're just waiting, aren't we? We're waiting and waiting for the real Sancho to turn.
I was thinking this as well because, like, the one thing that I speak about mostly about Sancho and what his main attribute was, I guess, at Dortmund was that the fact that he was great at making the best decision or the right decision in the final third, and then you just see him do that. And there's just a few times today he's just like, that's not the right decision, and you know better than that. You are better than that. Like, just did that one. It doesn't matter because he was offside anyway, but it's just like, just play Elanga in. It makes you look like about 10 times better football if you play Elanga in rather than finishing, because no one's going to appreciate you for scoring a one-on-one, especially when there's a guy free to your left who you can just pass to, and people are going to appreciate you loads more if you just pass that, because they're going to go, oh, what a selfless young man. He's putting the team before himself.
Yes.
Win-win.
I expected it. I expected under Ten Hag for him to move forward from last season. I really thought he'd feel like the kind of player Ten Hag really likes, and the player that would fit in with the Ten Hag system, which I mean, as you saw with the Ajax side, right? Interplay between the forwards, high press, making the right decisions in the right third, interplay between different players. I thought he'd fit in well with that. I thought he'd fit in well with players like Rashford and Antony and Fernandes, who he can play around, and it just hasn't happened yet. And I'm kind of surprised, since he came back after the World Cup, had his extra training, was extra fit, headed in the right place, that it hasn't quite sparked off for him. He's obviously unlucky in that Ten Hag really likes Antony for tactical reasons as much as anything else. And obviously Marcus Rashford's undroppable, and he clearly really, really wants a focal point in attack. And that's why Weghorst is clogging his way around the pitch all the time, doing things very slowly. But very, very slowly. So you can almost see the cogs in his brain as he thinks about controlling the ball and then laying it off. Yeah. Anyway, Ten Hag really wants that, and it's difficult position for Sancho to be in as a result.
It is weird. He looks exactly the same from before the World Cup that he does afterwards. It's like that break never happened for all the worst reasons. Yeah, and I guess it's way too early to say, how long's he got left at United? But I'm sure people are asking that question out there.
I mean, there'll definitely be people in the Twitter sphere.
I mean, yeah, that's true.
Of course. I mean, there's
people have an opinion about everything.
Oh God, yeah. Like, if United signed Kylian Mbappe and he didn't score 17 goals in his first game, there'd be someone somewhere on the internet going, waste of money.
Bold fraud.
Yeah.
Is he cast as bold, or is it just really short hair?
I think it's just very short.
He has got a very good hairline, actually, thinking about it.
Yeah. Other players who did well, I mean, Bruno had, an hour? I'm just looking at the data here. 68 minutes. He should have gone off the second Rashford scored. I don't know why he was even on for a millisecond longer. But because, just got to save the guy. He's going to have a lot of work to do. And so he had a decent game, I thought, Bruno. And Casemiro is obviously very good. Very glad he didn't either get sent off or booked, because he'd have missed the next game, or injured. Yeah,
must be one of the few games this season that he hasn't got booked, or what? He had like 7 yellow cards, 2 reds.
He's had a few,
26 games. Or something.
It feels like a lot. I can't remember whether we talked about it earlier in the season or I read it somewhere about Casemiro slowly getting more aggressive over time, and it made me think his red card the other week about. Obviously we talked about it a lot, but. Just whether that's true, whether he's just becoming too aggressive because he's slowed down just a touch, or whether it's because he's having to cover more because he's in a single pivot. If he's not playing, I mean, he is. Even if he's playing with Fred is pushed further forward. He's in a single pivot, or is because United aren't quite the ball controlling team that Ten Hag would like them to get to, and they had much more of the ball at Real Madrid, and he's just not doing it. Anyway, it just feels slightly different. As good as he has been, he'll end up missing the game against Arsenal. Well, it was 3, and then 4 on this one, plus a third and plus 2 thirds, so that's 8 games basically with the 2 red cards. And the other game he got booked, he missed through the yellow cards, tossing up.
Yeah.
If he gets 10 yellows this season, he'll get another suspension. He's probably not far away from that. And if he gets one more yellow in the Europa League, he gets a suspension.
It's ridiculous. But I was thinking this while watching the game today. It's a good thing that we've had this Europa League campaign. It's allowed him to just stay match fit because
around his Premier League suspensions.
Had this, it's just barely played over the last 2 months. Like obviously he had the Newcastle game, the 7-0, and then he got sent off after 30 minutes in that one. They were the 3 games he came back from the 3-match ban before that, and then he missed. Like you say, he missed Arsenal away not long before that. So you think how many Premier League games he's probably played this calendar year? It's probably about 5 or 6 maybe.
Yeah.
Which is kind of ridiculous to think how many games we've had.
I mean, at least it's keeping him fresh, I suppose.
Well, that's what I'm thinking. I mean, like, when he plays today, like, I know they've got that yellow card hanging over him, but like, it's almost like there's no need to take him off because the Europa League isn't next week anyway, is it? It's the week after next, I think, because obviously the draw's tomorrow, so they won't be able to.
Draw's tomorrow. I don't know who we want in that one, by the way. I mean, there's Roma still in it, aren't they? Or I guess we see the results today, and Arsenal.
League, I always get mixed up.
I feel like they're in the Europa, Roma, and it's not that like they're particularly great,
up at the moment.
but obviously it's Mourinho and all of that. Anyway, we've got Fulham in the FA Cup. Then it's the international break, of which players will be flying all over the place. It's Newcastle. Of course. Then it's Brentford. Then it's Everton. Is it the Europa League after the Everton game? So I kind of feel like it is.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Yeah. So he's going to miss. So Casemiro will miss Newcastle, Brentford, Everton, and Fulham. The 4 games he misses.
Mm-hmm. So the teams left in are Sevilla, Feyenoord, Juventus, probably Arsenal are winning 1-0, Leverkusen, Sociedad or Roma, and then one of the Union teams, Union Berlin or Royal Union from Belgium, who are somehow beating Union Berlin at the moment.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we basically don't want Arsenal.
Yeah, could do it. I mean, I look at that and Sevilla.
I think everyone else
are beatable. I know Sevilla gave us not a great time last time out when we played them in that semi-final. What season was that? 1920?
Yeah, I think it was the COVID year, wasn't it?
Around about then, yeah. But they're not having a great time at the moment. They're mid-table, bottom, middle table in La Liga. I look at all the teams there and I kind of think, could anyone apart from Arsenal beat us over 2 legs? I mean, there's some good teams in there. Obviously, Union Berlin are having a good season. And, I mean, Roma are half decent. Juve are having a difficult time, but they feel inconsistent. But, yeah, Arsenal over 2 legs, you'd worry about the rest of them. You kind of book your flights to Budapest now. Why not?
Yeah, pretty much. And like you said a few weeks ago, Arsenal will probably have other things on their mind. I think I said at the time, I think Arsenal will trail off, which they haven't done at all in the league. But hopefully, they'll have other things on their mind. It won't be a little bit like that FA Cup game they had against Man City, where they rested a few players and weren't particularly bothered about going out of that competition. I think they'll probably be the same for this, if they ended up playing us.
Then again, we I think we thought that a couple of years ago, didn't we? And then Villarreal gave us our nemesis. Villarreal beat us, whatever it was, 11-10 on penalties. So I keep expecting Arsenal to blow up. I look at that team and I'm like, how? And I was looking at the injury table. I was like, is it because they're not getting injuries? They've had a few. They're sort of mid-ranked in terms of number of matches missed through injuries. So it's not a Leicester in 2016 situation where they were like doubling down on the EPO and never got injured at all. That's an allegation. Not true, folks. Not true. Or any lawyers reach out. So wait till Ineos takes us over. We're going to get some of that sweet EPO. Yeah. They will literally be cycling into Old Trafford with it, bags full of it, pouches. Our new sporting director, Dave Brailsford, will be, mwah, love it. No.
Oh, God. It's still better than the alternative.
Wow. God. I keep thinking, not to divert us too much, the absolute rogues gallery of people. So we'll come to it in a bit. Let's talk takeover chat in a bit. But and like before we get onto that, any further thoughts on the game? I mean, it's almost a side thought, isn't it? Because it was, as it should have been, fairly easy.
Bit of a shout out to Palestri. I thought played really well.
Isn't he?
Yeah. It was, yeah. And I think especially in the second half, he really started to find some confidence. And he's tidy, isn't he, as well? Like, he keeps hold of the ball well. He makes the right decisions. He doesn't try to do too much. Basically describing everything Anthony isn't here. They're very, very different players. Like, Anthony will try everything under the sun and some will come off some way. Whereas Palestri kind of just seems, you probably know what you're going to get every time he plays, really. And I thought he looked good. And I think the more that he can get minutes like that and start playing in senior football at the highest level, the better he's going to be, because he obviously had a loan spell out at Alaves, but that was La Liga 2, wasn't it? I think it was at the time.
I'm trying to think. He had two seasons there. Anyway. I feel like one was in La Liga at least. I can't remember where they got it that way. Good. Yes. Well done, Ed, for remembering all of that. But yeah, he was tidy. 0.07 expected assists today. He got one shot off. 0.07 expected assists, by the way, is better average than Anthony has in the Premier League on assists. There was a good deep dive in The Athletic on Anthony and some of the challenges and areas for improvement. Clearly, his one-footedness, which they point to in the data, is an issue. He comes inside and unless he gets his shot off and pulls off his one trick, which is bending that shot into the top corner, which is, to be fair, done quite a few times this season.
Yeah, and also you looked at Arjen Robben, literally made a career out of it, and no one could ever stop him.
He did, although he had more pace, Robben, but yeah.
He did, and more quality on that left foot as well. Like bent it beautifully. But it was like, I know what you're going to do, Arjen. And then he just
did it anyway.
Stepped on his left foot and whipped it in the corner every time. He barely had a...
Well, it's true. It's true. So, anyway, yes, Palestri did well. Like the look of him. I wonder, he's been at the club, 3 seasons now? Well, I wonder whether they'll... Because if they send him out, he's probably got a 5-year contract, I'm guessing, on that one, maybe with an option. So 3... getting into 2 before the end of the contract. He was pushing to leave at some point recently. He wanted to go on loan this winter. Don't blame him. He needs games. He's a young player. He's in the national squad. Doesn't want to ruin that opportunity. I wonder whether they'll look to sign him up on a new contract and send him out on loan again. I mean, it'd be a big decision for him versus getting a permanent move away. But if Ten Hag believes in him, and he's getting more game time, isn't he? I mean, he's frequently come on. I don't know how many times, but he has come on for Anthony a few times this season as the more direct change, a player that's willing to go on the outside. Had that good shot today that hit the post, didn't he?
Yeah.
So that will be recorded it'll be recorded in the XG, but as not on target. So it doesn't go down his data, but it's, he's a bit unlucky with that one. Overall, good impression.
Yeah, he's like an old school winger, isn't he? That can play inside. He's, like I say, he's tidy enough to just come inside and play, but also wants to get on the outside, wants to get to the byline and cut it back. Like a very slow version of Antonio Valencia almost.
Yeah. Well, Antonio Valencia in his, later years.
He actually does, thinking about that. Palestri almost has the makings of a guy who isn't good enough to be a winger, ends up
but could be a defender
into a right back.
Maybe. There you go. Yeah. Maybe you spotted it already.
He's kind of got the attributes.
He hasn't quite got the built like a massive brick outhouse that Valencia was. It was just the guy's thighs were incredible. And biceps. I'm still following him on Instagram. He's always posting videos him training, and he didn't have it for a few years towards the end there, but he's physically looks good. You wouldn't want to meet him in angry mode anyway. Harry Maguire played a game, which is infrequent these days. Probably should have scored with that header as well. Somehow it went wide.
Yeah, it was a big chance.
Yeah,
he did okay, didn't he? He was good on the ball.
He did all right. He does the things Harry Maguire does. He was kind of slow. I did think, it looks like a defender running through treacle. Yes, that's Harry Maguire. But yeah, he didn't make any. I can't remember a mistake that he made. United, for all Betis's push, and they did have a lot of shots, didn't really give up to. There's two, I guess. The one save Dave made from the corner in the second half, and the one in the first half. I'm trying to think if there are any other sort of good quality saves Dave had to make. I think that might be it. So,
they had a couple of other chances, didn't they? Obviously, Joaquin hit the post. I can't believe Joaquin's still playing at 41. And then they had that one in like the first 2 minutes where the geezer should have done better. Number 7 or number 9. I can't remember what his name was.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Dave. That was the one-on-one Dave saved as well from person whose name I forget. And Rubial. Yeah.
Yes, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah. And Dave did well for that one, and the header went wide. So anyway, but the point was that Maguire, I guess, didn't make any mistakes. He's going to be out of the team again very shortly, and he'll be sold in the summer, which United can book as pure profit because that's the way amortization works. It's awesome. So, and and it will go towards whatever players we want to buy in the summer, which may be some, maybe none, depends on the takeover, I guess. All right, shall we talk about the takeover fun and games happening there? So as we're talking Thursday, the Qatari delegation has been in Manchester. They're absolutely not representatives of the Qatari government. They are representatives of a completely independent businessman who just happens to be the son of the former prime minister and is part of the ruling family. And in an autocratic state like Qatar, they're all free to do whatever they want. Honest folks. So they were in Manchester today for negotiations, I presume with advisors to the Glazers and the Rain Group rather than the family itself. That may get to direct contact later down the line. As I understand it, Ineos, and I don't know whether I assume Ratcliffe won't be there. Ineos representatives will be having their meetings on Friday. So we'll have all the paps outside Old Trafford trying to catch them, I guess. This is moving to the next stage. It really seems, and I wasn't sure this was true, but it really seems like there are only 3 bidders here. Qatar, Ineos, and then Elliott, which is not really a bid. It's an opportunistic attempt to fund anyone, whether it's the Glazer boys themselves or anyone else with some debt. Or what looks like it's equity, but what would effectively be debt. So that looks like that's it. And then there was some chatter this week that although it was Q1 we were expecting April, or early state Q2, it's probably more likely to be the summer before this is wrapped up.
I don't know. It's just like choosing the worst villain. Like, who's your favourite villain?
Bond villains, all of them, aren't they?
Yeah, but they're worse because they're actually real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, I don't know. Blofeld rocked up at Old Trafford with his cat. Would you? You're like, yes, you'll do.
Take him on. Still better than Qatar, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. I tweeted it out for anyone who's interested. There was a couple of things I noticed. This one was the video that Ada Heiberg, the former Golden Boot winner, Norwegian striker, Norwegian Lyon striker, who tweeted out this video with a letter from a family member of a worker who died from Nepal. I think I am right in remembering. It's kind of emotional video about how they hadn't received any compensation, don't even know why he died. No investigation, and that's been the pattern right? All these workers die. There's no investigation because if you don't investigate, there's no data. If there's no data, there's no reason to give any compensation. It just got me thinking like $220 billion was spent on the World Cup and nothing was committed for that fund that many of the NGO agencies were asking for families. Nothing. So, and then the second piece is that there's Qatar joined the International Trade Union body. It might be called the IT. I can't remember what it's called. Anyway, it's like a international conglomeration of trade unions as part of their effort to spin that they really did care about workers. And what happened 2 days after the World Cup final, they then left that organization and just kind of showing the lie for what it was, which is this was a nice piece of spin to say that workers' rights were being respected around the World Cup, when really they're not.
I don't know how many people listen to this show actually want Qatar to take over United, but
it's kind of self-selecting at this point, isn't it?
It just rips the soul from everything that we have been wanting to do. Like it makes everything almost completely pointless because we've got so much money. It doesn't feel like we're going to build to anything. It makes us, if we lose the fact that we can be morally above City, or which, to be honest, this is kind of a fun thing to always poke at City that you've bought yourself. And it also completely rips the community out of the club. Like, we're just going to be someone's plaything. We're going to be a nation's plaything, which they're using to wash their dirty laundry in public. And I don't know how people can subscribe to that. Like, the whole ethos about a football club is so much more than that. Like, it's community.
As someone said to me on
it's a
Twitter,
collective.
It is, yeah. And exactly how I once started writing a book on this, which is a retrospective on how clubs were formed. And I was thinking about like where the future of the game was going. I only got halfway through before I got a job, and so never completed it. But I spent a lot of time reading early history books on the game about where teams were formed. Like Manchester United, obviously, Newton Heath Railway Workers, Men's Association, social clubs, churches, schools, other institutions. These were community assets. They were the things that formed by the people. The game was watched by the people. Eventually, private business came in, but historically, at least, it was local businessmen. That's what happened in the case of Manchester United. For better or worse, there were people who felt like it was an asset of the community and had to be protected for the community. And of course, United have long been a forerunner of the destruction of that model. Like first club in England to IPO back in 91, 92, somewhere around there. And then one of the first to be bought out by an overseas investor, quote unquote. Not that they invested much, and one of the first to commercialize globally, and very much the first in England to take on this kind of regional commercial model and sector based. And we won't be the first to be taken over by a state if it happens. But you're totally right. Like, what is a football club if it's just a tool of foreign policy? It's there to well, I was talking to Fabian Goer, who if you haven't listened to my interview with him and Mayor Romanos, his colleague at Amnesty International, go back and listen to it. I would urge you to. It's a very good conversation. And talking to him on Twitter about we need to redefine what sport washing means, because I think there's a kind of sense that people think it's about washing the reputation, but it's not. It's about the reputation, but it's also about co-opting institutions like Manchester United. It's about building soft power. It's about building influence. And in the case of the Qataris that we've now seen, it's also about using sport as a tool to put pressure on government. So alongside opting out of the International Trade Union Association, they were, it seems, bribing MEPs. There's an investigation going on now in Europe about that, and putting pressure on FIFA to drop investigations into workers' rights. May well be, I don't know if this is true, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised behind the scenes putting pressure on UEFA to stop any consideration around multi-club ownership models. In fact, Alexander Seferin was just saying this week, basically hinting very strongly that they were going to look at that. Well, there's only one way you can change looking at it, because they're basically allowing it now, but in the rules say you can't. So what's going to happen, folks? Pressure's coming from the outside, and they'll go, okay, multi-club model is okay. Even though we said it was all about integrity of the sporting competition before. Sorry, I'm going off into a rant there.
But it's true. You look at the way that Abu Dhabi have created the way that they deal with property in Manchester, like just building all those cheap properties and destroying the housing market over there. You look at how much Saudi has sway over the government. You look at what Russia did with their oligarchs within London, completely destroying the city and the country in itself. Like, that's literally what Qatar are basically just wanting to do their own version of that, however that looks. And you also talk about their sway over UEFA. Like, one of the reasons why PSG weren't up for the European Super League is because they knew that they could be they are cozy with UEFA, and they led the charge against the European Super League to look like the guys. Oh yeah, we're actually upstanding citizens here, because they want more power when the European Super League fails. Then we can be nice and cozy with Sheffer in here. Like, it's like you say, it's all about soft power, and
sport is a lever for control, power, influence, distraction, manipulation. It's
I heard like people say, I can't remember who it was, but someone was saying that, oh yeah, but I'm sure Ratcliffe's got some sway over politicians in the UK, and he might try and drum up some support to be like, oh yeah, we want to build a case against why Qatar shouldn't take over Man United. Yeah, but the Qataris will have so much more sway over the Tory government. All they need to do is just
that sweet liquid natural gas is pretty good. Yeah,
like it's so insidious. It's obviously not in plain sight, but if you want to know how deep that kind of stuff goes, you just read the book Kleptomania. Is it Kleptomania? Yes, Kleptomania. I can't remember exactly, but that is just a book which is like, it read like a spy novel about how the whole world is just ran by dirty, scary, to be honest, and just it's so insidious.
Yes, it is. I mean, and there are, to get back to the Bond villains, we'll see lots of press on Friday about the challenges of the Ineos ownership, or Ineos coming to United, and I think it's fair to think about the challenges there. I mean, one of the biggest polluters, because of the nature of their petrochemical business, they will be accused of greenwashing. That's a fair case, isn't it? And whether sport is being used to change the reputation, certainly their moving to cycling feels like that. And there'll be questions around the multi-club ownership model as well, because of their links with OG Nice and Lausanne, and I think they have a club in Ivory Coast. I keep forgetting, sorry, as well. And similar questions. I think we shouldn't conflate them too much, though, because a state actor and a private business actor are very different things. And the reason why you take over a club as a state is not because of an investment. I mean, I always laugh when Manchester City fans make that argument. What? Yeah, 0.00001% of GDP. You think that matters? No. It's not the investment that matters, folks. Anyway, at least the crypto play died off quite quickly. I don't think that will be happening anytime soon.
Yeah, I hate people that lost their money in that, though.
I don't think he took any money. I think he got pushed back. And so the website was just taking registration. So you're just giving him your data.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Good stuff. All right, weekend game is against Fulham in the FA Cup. I think that's right. Yeah, it is. Fulham in the FA Cup.
On Sunday,
yeah. So we're still in so many competitions, Tom, unlike Liverpool, who are now in no competitions. It's,
The quadruple is still on. Well, it's not, but
sort of. Look, we only need City to lose 3 games and Arsenal to lose 4 games, and us to win every single game from here to the end of the season, and we win the league.
Inevitable. On Fulham, they've been dropping off a little bit lately, I think.
Yeah.
I think the momentum that they had from last season is kind of dying away. They're a good side, but you see like Arsenal on Sunday, you think, oh, this might be a tough one for Arsenal, and
it really wasn't.
Kind of just blow them away. And yeah, I think that, yeah, like I say, their momentum's dying off a bit. I guess there's always those things with teams that come up. It's like, oh, teams don't know how to play against them. I remember that Sheffield United time where they just kind of blew them away and bamboozled a lot of teams in the Premier League. And then they, towards the end of
with
the season,
their overlapping centre backs, that one. Yeah.
Yeah. God. But I think it's a little bit the same with Fulham, and they're not full of great players either, really, are they? Like Mitrovic has had a solid season again. Andreas Pereira, you say, is maybe one of their better players. Williams had a bit of a renaissance, but I think I find it feels more like I feel more confident it being a cup game. It feels like less pressure somehow, and obviously, like, a draw isn't a disaster either. I mean, it's the last thing we need really is to be playing another game, because I guess it's replays are still a thing at the quarterfinal stage. It's only semi-finals, isn't it?
It's changed quite a lot, and I mean, when the
every year
extra
changes.
Yeah, well, when the extra 4 games come in the Champions League next year, it'll have to go replays. It's just there's no way you can just no way there won't be any midweeks, basically. So unless they'll have to go. I was thinking one of the reasons that Fulham had dropped off was because Mitrovic had dropped off. He was injured, wasn't he? And then he hasn't scored. I was counting the games. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Hasn't scored in 9 games. So since January the 3rd, which is unusual because he did have quite a hot start to the season. Obviously scored a ridiculous amount of goals in the Championship last season.
Yeah. Like you say, he started really well, like not at Haaland levels, but he was second in the goal scoring charts for quite a while. And then is Vinicius, the other striker that they have, who came in for Mitrovic every now and again. He was scoring as well. And like I say, Willian's been phenomenal for them. I thought that was like such a crap signing when they got him. It felt like this guy who was just dead at Arsenal is just looking for another payday in London, but fair play. He's been really good for them. And they've played some really good football. Like Marco Silva's kind of been... It's kind of like... It's first time you've seen Marco Silva actually do well for a sustained period. Like, he had that time at Hull where he looked quite good for a little bit, and then I think he still got them relegated, and then he went to Everton, looked okay for a little bit, and then dropped off. But then at Fulham, they obviously smashed the league last season, came up, done really well. They're still up there, like, to be getting in European spots, aren't they? Are they still above Liverpool?
I can't remember. Hopefully.
A couple of weeks ago.
No, they're a couple of points behind Liverpool now.
Okay. So obviously, they've had a really good season, but yeah, they just seem to be dying a little bit now. And I fancy us on Sunday they're
still ahead of Chelsea in the battle for West London's finest between Brentford, Fulham and Chelsea.
Wow.
Hot one that is.
I wonder when the last time Chelsea weren't atop of that table.
Yeah, quite some time ago.
Must have been.
So, Andres Pereira's done all right this season. I noticed he put out on the social media his collection of bangers for United. And to be fair, it's been quite a few bangers from Andres. That volley he stuck into
in the
friendly
top corner.
Yeah. Yeah, absolute beauty. He was pre-season Pereira, wasn't he? He was particularly good then and then dropped off. A thing that when I was looking him up, I couldn't quite wrap my head around is that he's 27 now. He's no longer a kid. He's just perpetually
really
a child, isn't he? He's 27.
Wow.
Yeah.
He always looked like he was going to be really good. Like, technically, he's a fine footballer.
Yeah.
He just doesn't have that what you need.
Intensity,
I guess,
drive,
to do it at the top level. Yeah,
physicality.
Like it wasn't great at anything. He was kind of 6 out of 10 at a lot of things, and not very physical. Like you say, not very fast. Couldn't shoot that well all the time. It's just like moments of flicks and starts here and there, and it's just like, it looks like you're going to be okay, but you're not really.
Yeah.
Go to Fulham and shine. And he's not really shone, I guess, but he's kind of
6 assists, 2 goals.
And
he's done all right.
Looked at home, hasn't he? At that kind of club.
That kind of level, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I guess that's it. United through. Another cup competition coming up. I think we'll win on Sunday, isn't it? So obviously, well, I always say every week for about how many years have we doing this? 14 years of doing this podcast, 600 podcasts. Every week I predict United win. I'm like Mark Lawrenson on the BBC website. You know how every single week Liverpool would win, even when they were really crap. Yeah. Anyway, I think we'll win. And that'll be yet another quarterfinal in the cup. Thanks, everyone. If you like the show, the way you can support us best is by leaving us a rating and review on Apple Podcasts. And it really doesn't matter what you say in that review either. You can say you'd rather we talked about Manchester City and Liverpool. Just hit those 5 stars. Many thanks.
This podcast is part of the Sports Social Podcast Network.